I do. I started off the exact same every time, and John started laughing at it last week, and I'm like, "What do you want me to do? This is how we start."
I just can't look.
No, John, look me in the eyes.
Look me in the eyes.
I can try.
Welcome back, everybody.
No, you didn't do it the same way.
All right, my bad. Welcome back, everybody. All right, it's Dan, and across the table for me, you already know who it is. It's John.
It's me, John, guys.
Hey, John,
and
there's something different about this episode.
we have a guest.
We do.
Yes.
So should I do the same joke I do for every time I bring somebody on? How we have a great person,
Mhm.
just excited for him to be here.
Yes.
Most amazing person we've ever met. And
Yep.
they couldn't be here.
Amen.
So instead, it's my brother.
We had
Amen.
Dustin.
What
It was
else?
supposed to be a surprise.
It was. That's kind of funny how that ended, though.
Well, it's
Like,
going went the wrong way. It's my fault. Technically.
It's true. Did you know he went to church first?
Oh,
Yeah, I'm like at church texting him like, I'm here. Open the door.
He's like, first he texts me and he goes, front door or back? And I'm like,
What?
just come in the front door. and then I go outside and I'm going, okay, maybe he's at the back door. So I walk back around and I'm like, where did he go?
That's hilarious.
And then when you text me you're at church, I'm like, oh, because in my head when you didn't text me back at first, like for a few minutes, I'm like, did he just walk into someone's house?
Is your car there at church? Is that your
No.
car in the back?
Mm-mm.
There's like a Chevy.
Impala?
Yeah.
Oh, your dad's,
Oh,
right?
it's my
That
dad.
Impala.
Oh, I thought you were there. I'm
I
like,
used
what
to
are
have
you
that.
doing?
I
Are you
used to have-
napping?
Yeah.
Like just in the back taking a nap?
I used to have. No, his dad's probably napping.
Oh.
That's probably what it is, yeah.
That's how he studies. I forgot.
No, but that's funny because I had the exact same. You know what year that Impala is?
Yeah, I
It
was
had
gonna
to
say,
be-
It looks the exact same
It
year.
looks the exact same as mine.
Yeah.
My old one.
I
So,
remember.
because every time I see it, I'm like, man, that looks just like. But your dad's is in way better good condition. than
yeah,
mine.
somebody gave it to him.
Mine's trash. Really?
Yeah.
Somebody gave me my first car. I told you that, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Did you know that? Did somebody
I don't
give me
think
my
so.
first car?
Wasn't it the lady that died?
I don't know.
Yeah.
But they still
so
wanted you to have
do you remember
Yes.
Missy?
You told me that
And-
story. Oh
I
wait,
think
did you
so.
tell it on the podcast too?
I think so.
I think you did.
You
Yeah.
did, yeah.
You told me that in
Yeah.
the past, but you told it on a couple episodes ago.
I did, yeah. Because that's
Mhm.
like one of my favorite things. It's like, I want to give you my car, and then she dies. It's like, and I'm over here like, oh, I'm so bummed that she died, but where's my car?
Exactly.
And the daughter's like, no, you can still have it. I'm like, okay.
Amen.
Sweet.
I'm sorry for your loss.
But it was supposed to be a surprise. And then I pulled in, and then I get out and like look to my right, and Dustin pulls in. I'm like, oh, hey, Dustin, what's
Well,
up?
I hope like a while into these to this podcast we can have like multiple guests on, and we won't have a clue. Like I'll
Yeah.
say, hey, Dustin's going to be on, but the next thing you know, there's somebody else going to be on too. We have no clue.
Just to grab people walking around in your apartment complex.
Exactly.
Hey, come on in.
Hey,
Put in
you.
front of a
You're
mic.
done throwing out the garbage. Come here. We're gonna do the podcast real
I
quick.
wish I've thought about before having a guy. There's a guy from work I kind of want to have on. I told you about Jose.
Yeah, yeah.
I do want to have him on, but there's another guy. But I'm just
Cuban
afraid he won't-
refugee.
Huh?
The Cuban refugee.
That's my because I'm not going to sit there and bleep out every
Right.
single one. I think he would be fine, but it would be really interesting, and I
You
don't
wouldn't-
want to do
you
that.
just tell them.
No,
Most
I think
people
so.
don't care. Like, hey, we're not doing that. Just don't.
Yeah.
Most people don't care.
Yeah.
Usually.
Well, it's that, and then if they say anything like
crass or something.
Yes,
If they get, I know
if they
what you
get
mean.
if they what's that called? Yeah. They
Crude.
get too-
Just-
It's a good movie.
You
Just
get
kidding.
vulgar or something.
Stupid.
yeah, get
movie.
vulgar. Yeah. And all of a sudden they're sitting there trying to joke, and you're like, oh, into the microphone.
That's when you could just cut them out. That's you
Yeah,
just, you
I
turn
know.
them
It's
off.
like that's how I. Could you imagine? It's like I just have a noise, so I know when to cut things out.
That
It's
would
like,
be
what's
great
that? That
noise.
means I got to cut.
It's a
it out.
sound bite. You just press it.
Yes.
So how much
Yeah.
how much older are you than Dan, Dustin?
We're 6.5 years apart.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So
Yeah.
he's the oldest. You're the oldest in yours.
yeah,
And I'm the youngest, but
Well, you guys are all close. You guys are like
we
2
are.
years
Yeah,
apart,
I don't
right?
think
Yeah.
I'm 6 years. No, 6. Adriana is 16, and I'm 23. So is that 6
you're in a
years?
16.
Well, that's 7. You're 23.
Yeah,
That's 7
but
years.
There's
7
5
years.
of you.
Yeah, but it's 5
Yeah.
of you. Yeah.
true.
There's only 4 of us. Because
She
it was
wants-
like,
Yeah, she's driving now. She wants my
That's
car.
weird.
She keeps asking. She wants to buy
Oh,
my
that is
car from
weird.
me, and I'm like, no, you don't deserve this car.
No.
I would sell it to a random person before I sold it. to her. Sorry.
Wait, you wouldn't even let her buy it.
No, dude.
How much are you selling it for?
I would probably sell it
I'm
for
wondering.
like 7 to 8.
It'd be funny if she's like, "I'll give you 20 grand," and you're like, "No."
I mean, like,
so
it would have to-
overvalue. Absolutely not.
It would have to be. It would have to be a high price for it to go to her because she
Yeah.
doesn't deserve it. I'm just being honest.
Is she working? Does she work?
Yeah, she works at
Wait.
Starbucks.
Okay. Oh, wait, how old is she? What'd you say?
She's 16. Yeah,
Oh, well, she's still pretty young. Yeah, she
Yeah.
doesn't. have
she'll
any
wreck
money
it.
anyway.
She's gonna wreck it.
Well, that too.
This is- well, she's
That would hurt me.
she is what I'm saying.
I
It's a
see.
she,
Yes.
so she's gonna
I
wreck,
see.
right?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
gotta
yeah.
say it. So
I
But
love it when in the Office, the show that I don't watch,
Yeah, our friend told you about this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
a friend
I know
told me
what you
about this
I
episode.
know what you mean.
But it was when they were playing that game where you put the thing on your head and it says what you are.
Yeah,
and you
your
have to go around
ethnicity.
and ask people. And
that episode's great.
yes, and Pam, I think that's her name in the show that I don't watch.
My
Hers
friend
is-
told me.
Hers says, yeah. She's talking to Dwight, another person. Anyway, but Dwight's thing says Asian,
Yeah.
and and Pam, and he's like, Pam, you're not giving me a clue, and she's like, fine, if I go by stereotypes that I don't agree with, you might not be a good driver. Talking about Asians, and he's just like, man, am I a woman?
Terrible.
I'm just
An
like,
Asian
that's
woman.
amazing.
Asian woman.
Yeah.
We actually have
Oh,
a story, a random fact about that. So if a lot of people vacation in Hawaii, and we were told when we were driving.
It's not a random fact.
Well, yeah, that's not the random fact, but
No, I
I'm
get
getting to that. So when Lucy and I were on our honeymoon, they weren't
Did you go to Hawaii?
Yeah, we went to
I
Hawaii.
did. Good.
So we used the car, and they warn you. They're like, "Hey, just be careful. People, there's crazy drivers around here, or whatever. You just have to be careful." And basically, that was so loud, everyone heard it. But
that was
basically,
really
they warn you about Chinese and Japanese people that come to vacation in Hawaii that don't have a driver's license and have never driven a car before in their life, but
Well,
are
then
allowed to rent a vehicle because they're old enough.
that doesn't make sense. So they
In
don't ask for a
Hawaii.
license when they.
I don't know how it works. I don't know how it works, but they're allowed to rent.
You just start driving a car and you've never.
And
driven
bro,
before?
and especially in Hawaii, they're not great roads. You're driving
Yeah.
on the side of a mountain, and
Yeah.
but they warn you about just watch out for Chinese people driving cars, and I'm just like, what?
Too bad you're driving.
That's nuts.
It is.
Chinese person. You're like, oh.
What Lucy said when they were there for their family reunion, some Asian lady got in a crazy car accident and killed somebody.
See, what was the issue with that? Asian
So this isn't
lady.
this isn't a stereotype. It's true.
But yeah, it's a true thing.
Why people say
And
that?
apparently
It's
Hawaii's the only place they can get away with it.
That's
You know,
so,
I don't
that's so
know.
random.
It is the
So
most
we were,
random
so
thing
we were
ever.
playing this game, and this is so terrible, but I'm going to say it anyway. We were playing the game called Payday that I told you about.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah.
game called Payday, and it's robbing banks. It's literally the whole game.
Okay.
You get with friends and you rob a bank, but it's you have to strategize it. It's hard. So
Okay.
anyway, I'm not going to get into the whole game.
Is
But
it
it's really
board
fun.
game?
No, it's Xbox.
Oh,
Xbox,
Xbox. Okay.
So we're playing it, and I'm talking with me and Uriah are playing it, and Ethan and Evan King were playing a different game. We were talking with them, and they ask Uriah, they go, "What game are you playing?" Uriah goes, "Black Person Simulator."
That's so bad.
It's a robbing game.
Oh
And
my
I'm
word!
I was like, oh man. So I look at him and I go, yeah, after this, we're going to go home and abandon our kids.
Oh my word!
I might have to cut that. But
Speaking of kids,
that's
Dan,
funny.
not Dan. You didn't have a child.
No.
Dustin just had a
Another
boy.
one.
Number 4.
A
I
boy,
know.
right?
Yeah, it was a boy.
You got 2 boys and 2 girls now.
2 and 2.
Now
we're done.
what's his name?
Oliver.
Ollie.
Oliver Twist.
Mm.
Ollie.
No, Oliver
I
what?
don't know. I think the first time Ray.
Oliver Ray. Okay.
Oliver
Ray,
which
okay.
is my father-in-law's middle name. It's actually his mom's middle name. I didn't know that until 6 months ago, but she spells it R-A-E,
Mm-hmm.
and then he spells it R-A-Y.
I see.
Okay, so Rodney. I didn't know that.
Rodney Ray, yeah. And then and
Shout out
actually,
to you, Rodney.
did we
I
tell
know
you he
you're
was
listening.
born? When he was born, it's the day that it's her grandma's birthday. It's
Oh, that's
Oh,
crazy.
really?
right, yeah, it was on her birthday. Yeah, I mean she
Oh,
passed
yeah,
away a
yeah,
couple years
Oliver
ago.
was born.
Oliver was
That's
born
on
on
Saturday.
on her birthday.
That is cool.
Yeah,
Actually,
kinda
wasn't
cool.
it Saturday morning, 12 something?
Let's see, that would have been
Technically Saturday morning, but Friday night or whatever.
yeah. When did we go in? We went in Friday.
You went in Friday.
I kept thinking it was Saturday. Yeah,
But
that's
I
right.
think he was born Saturday.
It was. It was
12 something in the
1
morning.
a.m. It was
Yeah, yeah.
12:50 a.m. or something.
I just
like
laughed because it was Beth's going to the hospital. I'm at work, right? And then I get off work and I'm like, I wonder when she's gonna have the baby. And all of a sudden it's she had the baby.
that. Yeah,
I was
it
like,
was.
wow.
Yeah, the first 3 kids were induced, so
Yeah.
they were scheduled and they were induced, and it took I don't know, maybe 24 hours, which is
Yeah.
still pretty quick. But this time it was very, very fast. Without
Yeah.
getting into the details, it was just oh, okay, here it comes. It was super fast. We got to the hospital at 7, and she had the baby at 1 in the morning. We were there for 5 hours.
Yeah.
Wow.
No inducement,
But-
no nothing. She just had the baby.
I was there longer to get my appendix taken out.
That's
Good
what I'm
night.
saying. It was
Forgot
super
about that.
fast.
Yeah.
I know.
Super fast.
I went there. I don't know if I told you guys the story, but I was having stomach issues. I was working at Walmart in Kentucky. So I go to the urgent care because it was really bad and I couldn't figure out what's going on. So I go to urgent care. So they check my blood pressure and they check my pulse, and my pulse is 200 something, which is you're dead.
You're rolling at that
Right.
point.
So
our favorite segment.
favorite segment.
Yes, dude. It's called Knock Knock. Who's there?
Food.
That's
Food.
that's the
Tell me the name
segment.
of it.
It's not my human being wife. It's food is here.
It's the same thing. Back to the kitchen. I'm only saying that on here. I will pay for that later. Love you. She already got.
We got. What do we got today?
Thank
we got
you.
football shaped cookies.
Football shaped cookies, baby.
That's great, dude.
Kate made a homemade. It's called apple crisp. It's like apple pie, but just throw in more sugar and cinnamon.
Amen.
And then like on top of like an not oat. What's that called?
Like
Granola.
Granola, yeah.
So
Oh,
granola,
yeah.
apple crunch. It's amazing.
We had
That
it
does sound
yesterday.
amazing.
She made it last night and just brought it in, and we're like, "Welcome to the new segment." Kate just
That's the
brings
new
in
segment.
food.
I like it.
They should be fresh, actually. I think they're fresh.
I
Throw
think
me
so.
one.
No,
Hit me,
I'm not eating.
hit me a tight spiral.
And
Oh,
I'm not eating it.
No, I'm not.
I want you to run a bubble route here, Dan. You ready? Here we go. I'm just playing. Let's see if you actually catch it in your
Oh
mouth.
man, they're still warm.
No chance. I was not even close.
I
These things are fantastic.
I like cookies, but they're 10 times better right out the oven when they're warm.
Yeah.
And these are like those Pillsbury Doughboy ones,
Mm-hmm.
where
Oh,
you can
yeah.
just eat the.
They're
the
not
dough.
homemade.
I've done that before, where like I was never allowed
Wow.
to eat cookie dough growing up because it like makes your stomach hurt for good
So?
reason. And
Oh,
so like
yeah.
I was moved out of the house at this point. I'm like, I'm just gonna eat some of these. Like I'm gonna eat like the dough. So I ate them. Like, dang, these are really good. So I just ate like 5 of them. And then I paid for it, dude. It was terrible. I'm
Oh,
like
man.
22 years old, like eating dough. Like, why was I
That's
not allowed to do
amazing.
this as a kid?
Right.
It's the best.
That's amazing.
That's hilarious.
Oh, I know. You can peel it back like I said, just like a banana. Just
Yeah.
peel it back. Where did that go? Hey, John, can you not mess up my?
I dropped a part of it. I don't know where it went.
John fumbled. It's on your shoe.
Oh, it's on my khaki shorts.
It's on your shoe, I think.
I'm
It's
gonna
on
tell
your
you my
shoe.
embarrassing
No.
story that I did
What's on
yesterday.
your shoe?
Yeah, I
When I
wanna
was
hear
at
it.
Sky Zone. I took Bella and Lincoln there,
Oh yes.
and they were
Sky
playing.
Zone. I want to go to Sky Zone.
So yeah, the Sky Zone here isn't that great. I don't like
Oh.
like Get Air and Urban Air are pretty cool. I think Get Air is probably the best
I'm
one. But
assuming they're the same concept.
yeah, same concept. Just
Oh, okay.
like 3 different companies. But we went, and I was wearing my Eagles Super Bowl shirt when they won like 3 years ago, whatever year that was.
7, 18, in between 2010 and 2020.
Yeah, so somewhere over there. I forget what year it was, but this is proving my point. I don't follow sports as much as I used to. I'm wearing that shirt, and this guy comes up to me. He goes, "Hey, has anybody ever told you look like Sirianni?" I said, "Who?" He said, "You look like Sirianni."
The
I
coach?
said, "Who's Sirianni?" I said, "Who's that?" It's like the coach. I was like, "Oh, the coach." He said, "Yeah, the coach for the Eagles." I go, "Oh, wait, the head coach."
You're wearing the shirt, bro.
Yeah, he goes, "Yeah," and I went, "Oh," I said, "You can tell I don't follow sports that close." And he just laughed. I googled it. I'm like, "Oh, I kind of do look like him actually." I was like,
Listen, like yeah,
embarrassing.
my husband bought me this shirt.
He
loves
like an
sports.
idiot. Well, it's one of those things where like I Google it, look it up, and I go, "Okay, I knew that." But I haven't.
Yeah,
Like, the last
you're
time I
just
looked this up was
right.
like 2 years ago. I just like forgot who it was.
Yeah, they're
I felt
actually
so stupid.
That's
You're like, what
hilarious.
But I did see. It's funny because like I was talking to somebody at the gym. The owner of the gym I go to, he's a diehard Eagles fan too. So
Mhm.
we were talking
I didn't know
about we were talking about the team. Yeah, Eric, and he, they beat the Bucks last week, and I didn't watch the game, but I just
Yeah, I
like
heard Giannis
looked up
had a
the
great
score.
game.
Who?
Oh, Giannis said the Bucks.
Oh yes, the Bucks.
He's got Damian Lillard now as wide receiver.
I did. I was gonna say I saw the Damian Lillard trade. That's actually pretty cool.
oh no, that
I
is.
hope
All
they
right.
can win. That'd be
I
awesome.
know.
Anyway.
What were you saying?
Only because Lillard's like old. He's like 33 now. But anyway, yeah, it was just really funny. I felt like I've never felt that stupid before, especially when it comes to sports. I'm like, wow, that was really embarrassing. Who?
I don't know.
What? Oh,
It'd been funny
Lincoln,
if they're like-
Lincoln looks up at you. Dad, stop embarrassing us.
it'd be funny,
Funny.
If he knew. Like, Dad, it's the coach.
that'd be
We talking about.
he looks at him. He's like, "That's just my dad's favorite bird." He
Yeah,
just
he doesn't know.
he
what he's
doesn't know
talking
what that is. That actually that is really funny.
I just felt dumb. So I wrote down
I want to
another
hear.
embarrassing story. Actually, this one was probably the worst one.
Oh no!
When I was at a gas station.
Okay, let's
I think
save
I've heard
it.
it.
Save it really quick because
Okay,
I
save
really want to. I really want to know the whole process it is about having a kid because I'm about to have one
Oh yeah. When
I'm
did
about-
you do again?
in January.
Tomorrow.
Okay, it's a couple months. Okay.
What do you do
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow? No, what? Like I'm just like what do you do? Like walk me through it. Like you're a professional now. I mean, you've had-
When you go to the hospital, you mean?
I guess I don't know anything, dude. I don't know anything. All I know
He's
is
like,
so-
she's like, "I'm about to have the kid. What do we do?"
that's what I'm saying.
John's like, "Hey Siri, what do I do?"
Hey Siri, she's going into labor. Water
Is it kinda
broken.
like-
What do I do as the husband? I don't know.
Is it like football? You just hike it to me?
Okay, so
So like
we
obviously you have a due date and like but you
Right.
don't know if that's going to be the actual
So-
due date.
right. So for us, we cheated the first 3 kids because she wasn't due. So really, what that means is like We scheduled a date
Mm-hmm.
and said we're going to be here and start the inducement. So like our first 3 kids, like it was kind of like it's amazing. Technology is amazing. We literally scheduled the birth of our first 3 kids.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's just weird saying that we did.
Yeah.
Went to the hospital that day or that night or the early in the morning, whatever it was, and they got her all hooked up and everything, and started giving her the pitocin to help her start contractions and all that kind of stuff. And then 24 hours later, she ended up having the baby. Like, that's like super easy, but that's not how it normally works.
Oh yeah.
So this time was like her contractions were really bad, and fortunately, we do. Oh wait, Kate had her kids, right?
Yeah.
Kate ended up
over.
get her kids because her contractions were getting real
She
close.
went to your all's house. I think you all took off to the hospital.
That's what we did. Yeah, she came over there.
So how close do they have to be?
That depends on her, right?
I think it
And the
depends.
baby.
Because literally the only knowledge I have is from the episode of The Office.
So you have no knowledge. Actually, that's probably
that we
negative
don't know.
knowledge right there.
So where Jim and Pam have their kid. That's the only thing I know about childbirth.
No, you just go with the flow. Honestly, she'll know what to do. You just listen to what she says because she'll know all that stuff. You'd be like, "You're
just gotta
doing
remember-
what? Well, I don't know what you're saying." I said the other day to someone, who was it? Somebody at church. And I was like, I said like a couple of days before, I said, "Yeah, she had 3 transactions, so we went to the hospital." And I paused and went, "Wait, 3 transactions?" And then she's like, "You mean contractions?" I'm like, "Yeah, I mean contractions."
Amazing.
Yeah. Contractions. Yeah.
So anyway,
you show up and
you just show up. They hook you up and they start checking on the baby, see what's going on, and that kind of stuff. And they check like how far along she's dilated and stuff like that. So she started off at like a 2, and then it ended up being like a 3. And she went really fast. That's what was weird. So 2 hours later, she was a 2 or 3, so she was the same. But she had the baby had low fluid around it, which is bad, and I can't remember why, but it's just bad. So we had to stay because they were going to send us home. So we stayed.
Oh.
Then they checked again like an hour later. She was a 5. So we're like, "Oh, okay, we're going pretty quick."
Mm-hmm.
And then they checked not even a half hour later because the baby, something happened. I can't remember what happened. The baby, he turned around and his head was pointing down and he was just like ready to go. And it was like, whoa, what just happened? And they couldn't find his heartbeat or something weird. I can't remember what happened. But then she was a 10. She was all the way dilated. Like, okay, we gotta have this baby now.
Mm-hmm.
And that all happened within like 4 hours of us being at the hospital.
Oh wow.
It was nuts. But the good thing is you don't have to worry about it. The nurses do all that. Like,
Do you
don't need to
you
know
help?
anything.
Yeah. Does it get
Pushing
intense?
like on her stomach or something?
Yes, you jump on it.
It's like-
Yeah.
I figured it was like the Heimlich.
Dropped a couple TKOs on top.
So doctor's like, watch out.
No, honestly, as a dad, like in all seriousness, no sarcasm, it's like I don't know, it's the weirdest thing because you, as a man, you want to fix the problem. If there's something wrong, you're like, want to fix it.
Nothing.
But right time, maybe you just gotta sit there and just
watch.
hold her hand and
yeah.
tell her because she, I'm not gonna go into that, but she gets emotional like any woman would, and she gets scared and stuff, and you're just there to support her, but you can't do anything. You can't help. There's nothing you can do. You just feel helpless.
Yeah.
This is my fault. Thinking dumb stuff like that. But
you ever hear and this does have this is relevant. You ever hear Jim Gaffigan talk about that though? He talks about like the male contribution to life.
yes,
It's hilarious, but it's also extremely true.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So he basically says,
I know you're going to say.
So have you heard that
That's
before,
hilarious.
John?
No.
He basically says that anytime a woman's pregnant and somebody's like, oh, congratulations. He's like the male, and you're over there as the guy like, well, I help too.
Yeah.
For like 5 seconds doing the one thing I think about 24 hours a day. I'm like,
He said
that is so true though.
he didn't set up the whole joke though. He went through a whole little
did?
bit on it.
He did.
Yeah, he talked
I don't think
about
actually. Oh yes.
after she had the baby. He's like she forms the baby in her womb for 9 months. Yeah. Then she gives birth with her body. Then she uses her body to feed the baby.
Yeah.
And then the man's over there like, well, I helped.
Yes, that's what it was. Yeah.
For that, yes.
But that was amazing because it is like it's funny how the male contribution to life all it is.
Yeah.
It's like,
for real.
and then the woman's got to do everything else.
We contribute in other ways.
And we're just sitting in the corner like,
Right.
stop yelling.
I know. So like, does it get old, or is it like is it amazing every single time?
Bert. No, I mean, doing it 4 times. I mean, everything. The first time you do it is the first time. That's for anything.
Oh, that's
But
true.
giving birth, no. Like I said that to my wife in the hospital with the last kid. Like I'm not. I don't know. It doesn't bother me. I don't get woozy or anything. I don't know. I just don't care. I think it's amazing. So
Yeah.
like, I'm right next to her watching the whole thing.
I was gonna
I
say,
think it's
have
amazing.
you ever actually watched it?
Oh no,
Watch her give
I'm
birth?
up and close. I watch
Oh,
everything.
really?
I think it's
I just
amazing.
wondered-
I watch
well,
the baby. I watch my kid come out. But it's
Yeah.
amazing. Like it really
Yeah.
is really
Well,
cool. You're like,
actually-
this is amazing.
I don't
I
know
remember-
if I could watch a C-section, to be honest.
That I don't.
Yeah, I haven't
Well,
had to do
luckily,
that.
We've never
Yeah,
had to deal
I
with.
don't know.
You never had to deal with that.
No,
In our
no,
family
that,
in
no.
general, I don't think we've had to deal with that.
Not that I know of.
Kate's sister had.
Really?
Because apparently, what I was told from them is the worst part about a C-section is the recovery. it takes forever.
I
don't
know it's like weeks. You can't
you can't walk.
do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can't lift anything more than like
That's
5
what I was
pounds.
told.
Like it's
That's
bad.
Well, I remember
Yeah.
my dad telling us that after mom had Becca, he's like, they had Becca, they went home, and like a day or two later, mom's like putting up Christmas decorations to the tree. And I remember dad being like, this woman's tougher than I'll ever be.
He's on the recliner.
He's on the couch tired from not sleeping at the hospital.
Right. Yeah.
My mom's like,
Yes.
and he remembers just being like, what is wrong with this woman? Like, she just had a kid, and now she's putting up all the decorations, and I'm just,
my!
doesn't surprise me.
Stop making so much noise. I couldn't get any sleep last night at the hospital.
Why were you screaming?
I know.
Oh, you're
So yeah, I'm super nervous. It sounds like it's like super intense. Like
it can be.
Like
Yeah.
something could go wrong. Like, oh, we can't find the heartbeat. Like that can just like.
So for when Lincoln was born, number 2, that was the scariest one because she started bleeding out.
Oh wow.
So whatever happened to Jake's friend,
yeah,
that's what she was doing. That's what happened.
That's scary.
with Lincoln. So
But
that
she
was
didn't make
scary.
it.
That was
Jake's friend.
Jake's.
Not
Yeah, I
that.
know. It was like
Jake's friend.
how sick
Jake-
joke
yeah.
is that?
I know.
Yeah,
but
Jake,
his
yeah,
friend didn't make it.
she did make it. Yeah, and
That was that.
and what's scary about hemorrhaging is like you can do it. It can be right after the baby. Like my wife was. It can be like a week later. You can be at home and it can happen. So
Really?
like, yeah, but usually there's like a history behind that.
Mm.
Beth didn't have anything, so that was like random.
That is random.
Lincoln was born, and then I remember she was fine for like an hour, and they had the baby. They're doing everything with Lincoln, and she was just resting after she had him. And then all of a sudden, I was helping her like go to the bathroom, and she was just like bleeding a lot.
Yeah.
And then I was like, she got the nurse, and then all of a sudden, I'll never forget that because I was sitting in the room, and all of a sudden, there's like 12 nurses in the room, and they are, I mean, doing everything they can to like help her stop.
Mhm.
You know, I can't get specifics because it's gross, but like.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She was
I
in
mean,
so
that's-
much pain and they're trying to get her. I remember I was like, no lie, sitting in the corner, like behind their big nurse cart thing.
Yeah.
I was like boxed in. I'm just sitting there. Like,
Oh,
I feel like
freaky.
I felt
Yeah, that's
terrible.
what I'm saying. That
I just had
sounds-
them praying. Like,
Yeah.
that was terrible, but I'm going to freak you out. I shouldn't have told you that story.
Forget it. I think
There's so
we're
many-
gonna call it off. I think
Yeah.
we're gonna call it off. I don't know. Dude.
Call it off.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I didn't
No,
sign up
it's-
for all this.
Hope to lose. Hey, never mind.
I mean,
it's just that. Take it
Bella
back.
was fine. Nora was fine. And then Oliver
Lincoln's-
was the fastest.
Lincoln's birth was fine, right?
Yeah,
It was
that
just
was
that
after the
after?
fact. That was
Mm.
after the fact. Yeah.
Well, you know our family, Lucy's family, and my family, so we have to break the record for children. So we're aiming for like 20.
Exactly.
So-
Exactly.
Like
Yeah.
we gotta
Yours
get
don't
busy.
prevent,
She's
like,
a family of 6. I'm
You know,
a family of 5.
You know what's funny is you're in a. She has 6. Is
Yeah.
that all girls?
All girls, yeah.
So that's Kate.
Oh, really?
Kate's got,
Absolute
I don't think I
nightmare.
realized that.
Kate's
Oh,
got
my
5.
word.
Nightmare.
Thanks.
Kate's got 5 all girls.
Yeah, I don't
And I'm
know.
like, well, I'm going to end up with all girls.
I'm not coming over your house.
Neither am I.
I don't know though. I think Kate was meant to be a guy though, because she's like in there playing like she's like watching The Office on one screen and then like playing COD on the
Did you hear that
bottom.
episode?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
I
was
did.
like,
That's hilarious.
What is going on?
Beth can't
She-
stand that show, which is dumb because she watched
Really?
Parks and Rec with me though. I got her into it and she watched it,
Yeah.
but she's just this is just a part of her that like doesn't want to be. I don't know. She doesn't want to admit
Mainstream.
it's funny.
Yeah,
Yeah,
being
I don't know.
mainstream.
She wants to just
Yeah.
keep saying that's stupid. That show's stupid.
It's so funny.
I don't know. She's too
we
mature for that, I
we're
guess.
watching it, and we're watching on Peacock. They have the extended versions of The Office, so it's
I
like
think
all
I-
the scenes that
Yeah,
they
I
didn't
think I
put
saw
in.
that a
Yeah.
couple years
And there
ago.
are so many that are so funny that you didn't even know.
Mhm.
So again, I don't watch that show. So
Yeah, but I'm super
But-
excited. January is the time. Everybody I tell, it's so funny. Everybody I tell that she's due in January, they're like, "Oh, just have her in December so you can get, taxes or whatever." I'm just
Yeah.
like, I don't even know what they're talking.
That
So you can
sounds
claim
like
her on
such
your
a-
taxes.
Yeah, it's like 2 or 3 grand you
Yeah.
get back because it's
Oh.
a tax.
John's over here. Hold it.
Wait,
Oh.
how much did you just say?
I knew it was something like that, but like, it's like whatever. I'm not gonna do anything to make her have
It's
a
not.
baby.
Yeah, that's dumb. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It is
Wait
a
till
big
next
no,
year so
but
you can
yeah,
claim
don't
it
be
on
scared about it.
taxes.
It's a cool experience. Like I remember being nervous with our first kid
Yeah.
because we went to the hospital just to do a random checkup, and actually that wasn't a scheduled inducement. Now that we're talking about it, Bella was the first kid wasn't. We went there and her blood pressure was too high, and they said you got to stay. And then we're just sitting in the waiting room. The doctor comes back and he's like, "We're gonna go ahead and get you hooked up and have this baby." We're just like, "What? Okay, let's do this." Like I remember being nervous
Ready to
then.
roll.
That's wild.
Yeah, that
Oh,
was
man.
crazy. I forgot about that, but
Yeah, I'm super nervous, but
it's cool though.
I'm excited at the same time.
Yeah, it is. It's amazing.
Did you want to have a boy?
The last one, yeah, I'm gonna have 2 and 2.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
Because
I
we
did.
had 2 girls and a boy. So I
That's
wanted to have a
amazing
boy.
that happened.
Yeah,
That is
no, it
sweet.
is. I
It was
can't
so
believe.
funny when Becca found out she was having a girl. She was so
I know.
disappointed.
I
But
know.
like, not that she's not gonna love her, but like, it was just funny because Becca's like, "Yeah, I'm having a girl," and it's just
I
like
know.
she's so disappointed, yet she's gonna be excited.
Right,
Because,
right,
like, you know,
yeah.
I remember when me and Kate, before we got married and before everybody had kids, when we would talk about kids, you know, what do you guys want to have first? I'm like, I want a boy. She wants a girl.
Right. That's
And
that's
that's
what
how
we
it is.
wanted.
But then you guys had Bella, and then soon Becca had Ken. And after, honestly, you guys had them. I'm like, I don't really care anymore.
Yeah, it doesn't
I
matter.
really don't. Like, I'm like, I mean, I just hopefully I can have one of each. I don't want 5 girls. I don't
Right.
want 5 boys either,
No, that's
or
no,
something, or
that's
4 or whatever. But
Yeah,
like
you
I'm
gotta have a
saying,
good mix.
so what?
You gotta have a mix. I feel like.
No, exactly.
You do.
But I'm like, now I don't really care what. Yeah, if I have a boy or a girl first.
Yeah.
Like, it really doesn't.
No,
matter.
it doesn't.
And you had the opposite in our family. You went girl, boy in our family, and like ours is boy, girl. And your guys is just 3 boys, 2 girls.
3 boys, 2 girls. Yeah. Yep. And
Which is
then
crazy.
mom and dad are probably gonna have another girl. I'm just playing. We always joke about that with them.
Yeah.
When are you guys having another one? They
I do that to
hate
my
it.
aunt and uncle. I do that to Gabe and Gary all the time.
Do
You
you
guys having
really?
another baby? Oh, Gabe's like, is he 50? He's like
Yeah.
50 now. Like, you're having another baby, right?
I mentioned it to Kate's mom, but like she'll like before, and I think one time I mentioned it. She started to somewhat explain to me why she can't. I'm like, no, I was just joking.
Stop. No.
I don't know if she actually listens to this. I want to ask you, Cindy. I don't know if you remember that, but you're like, listen, Dan, I'm like, I don't want to know anything else. I'm just joking.
Bill Cheedy told me that. So Bill Cheedy got saved later in life, so he did a lot of drugs. He told me,
Okay.
and so
I think I've
he
heard
was
that,
like,
I know that.
he was like when
Oh no, I didn't.
when he told me that when he got
That's the dad, right? Bill.
yeah.
I'm just making. I was
Pastor Caleb's
mixing.
dad.
Yeah.
So after he got saved and they started having kids, he said that he got addicted to having children, and he was more addictive than any drug he ever tried before he got.
What? Really?
Yeah, that's a.
Like he was
What?
like he
I've never
like
heard of
loved it. Like
Yeah, yeah,
everything
yeah.
about it. Like he was addicted to having kids, which is why they have like 10 kids.
How many do they have? How many cheaties are there?
There's
Is there
10.
10?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Is
I don't
there
think I
really
knew.
There's
Can
10.
even-
I don't know what I
do
would have
know
guessed.
all
I
10?
would have guessed there was like 7. I don't
No,
know.
there's 10.
3
There's
I thought there was like 7.
only think about
I
it.
do
You got
too.
Caleb, Craig, Josiah,
Josiah,
and Josh.
and Josh.
Josh,
Okay, yeah, that's 5 boys.
There's 4 right there. Wait,
Is that 5 or 4?
Craig.
I'm
say
not
it again.
counting.
Craig.
Caleb, Josiah, Josh,
That's 4. Okay.
4. Okay.
and then you have
Isn't Abby,
5 other Abby, and then
yeah, then the girls, Abby, Sarah.
Sarah?
There's another one I can picture, but I don't remember what her name is.
Yep,
Anna?
her.
No. Yeah. Isn't there
Yeah,
Anna
Anna.
Cheedy?
Anna, and
What
there's
is it?
another
Know
one.
Anna?
They had 9 or 10. Maybe it was 9.
It is 9.
Do I
Okay.
know Anna? Who
Anna,
is she?
she's visited randomly. She lives up in Michigan
Is she
somewhere.
the oldest?
She's older
No,
than
she's
everybody
not.
we've named.
She was in the singles group when my dad was in it.
Oh, okay. So
That's right.
she's older.
Oh, no,
Okay.
she's not older than Craig.
No,
Is Craig the oldest? I think Craig is the
I
oldest.
thought Craig was too, but I don't know Anna. That's why I'm wondering.
Yeah, I haven't seen her in a while, but she's visited randomly.
Do you know that Craig? I knew Craig went to PBI, but he used to play like floor hockey against Dr. Ruckman.
No.
Yeah, they're all hockey. I didn't know they were all
Isn't that
hockey
crazy?
players. Yeah,
Well,
him
Caleb-
and Pastor Caleb loves hockey
He still
too.
plays. Pastor Caleb.
Does he really?
Yeah.
Oh, you know what?
Pastor
Talk
Caleb's a
about
fraud. Okay, let me just say this.
The man's never had knee problems. I don't care what he says.
Okay, so he plays basketball. He just starts playing basketball, and he tears his knee, right?
that. Yeah.
And then like I'm trying to get him to play pickleball and get into it, and like he played one time and he played amazing. Like he actually loved it, but he was like complaining about he doesn't complain about it, but I would ask him, be like, "Is your knee all right?" He's like, "No, it hurts." He plays full on like drop in hockey every single Thursday, and apparently
he
it
told me, I don't-
doesn't hurt his knee,
But he says he has more
I don't believe it.
control. He says he has more control over.
bro. It's hockey.
Well,
I don't
but
know.
wouldn't skating have less
Gotcha.
He
said he
on
can,
your
like,
knee than like when you're running or jumping because
Yeah.
you're
He
I don't
explained
know.
it to me once, and it did make sense.
Yeah.
And again, he's not playing probably full contact hockey.
I don't know, but
But he's got, like-
I don't know about you, dude. Every time I leave the hockey rink, I'm like, I literally felt like I was in a car accident.
I've never played hockey.
I've
Every
never
time.
played hockey actually
I've never
ever.
played.
No, not playing hockey, but like just like open skate. Like I feel like I got in a
Oh.
car accident.
Yeah.
because
No,
he
it
was,
is pretty. I know what you mean.
So he just probably
I'm
knows what
sore.
he's doing.
Yeah.
He probably does. I wish I could play hockey. I wish we could have played hockey.
Hockey would have been fun.
I wish I could have played
Oh.
hockey, and I wish I could have played football.
Okay, I got a question.
But-
True.
If you could, you probably just already answered it. But
Football.
if you could have picked any sport to play growing up, what would it have been? For me, it would not have been basketball and soccer. I kinda
Yeah,
got
that's
forced-
hard.
got
I-
forced
It
to
is
do
hard.
I played football 1 year in the 5th grade,
Really?
and that was amazingly fun.
Yeah.
So I probably would have
football.
loved to do
Yeah.
that. But it's funny to think about because I'm like, well, what would I have position would I have been? Because if I would have
For
played,
me,
if
I
would've
don't
played
know.
You probably would have been a
school
running
kids-
back.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe.
I don't know. But I mean, if it was like a
I want to
Christian school, compared to.
But let me rephrase this: wide receiver. But let me drop a few 100 pounds, then be a wide. Right now, I'm like a left end, the defensive tackle over here.
a few hundred, more like 1,000.
So what about you, Dan? What have been?
I wish I could have played. So here's the thing: like, not just played. Because, like, do you mean like play throughout high school, right? You could have played consistently.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because that's different. Like, if it's just like 1 year, because I played baseball for like 1 or 2 years, and I actually did like it, and that was the sport I was probably best at.
Really?
Oh, really? I was least good at.
Yeah,
Baseball.
For
So when I
got bored of
played,
baseball.
my coach wanted me to try to play, to try to play for college, but we didn't have a team like my last 2 years because we didn't have people.
Right.
But he would practice with me a lot because I was a catcher. I love being catcher. Well, nothing else to do in baseball besides if you're less the catcher or pitcher.
I did like,
yeah.
I was the catcher
That's
too,
why I
and I
wanted
liked
to
the
catch
catcher. Yeah, because you're
Yeah.
always doing something.
But I was pretty good at it, and I would even call out stuff as we were played. It was a blast. But of course, I don't feel like I can't rule out tennis.
Well, obviously, so we got to bring up the full ride scholarship, like every episode.
Oh yeah.
What would your life would have been? I can't talk. What would your life have been if you would have accepted that?
I hate going back. So
You think you
can't-
would have?
None of you can't sit there and think about if you would have done things different.
Right. Well, I
You
do
can't
that.
because then
Yeah.
they do it all the time because then it'll kill you. Because like if I could go back, knowing everything I know now, I would definitely have married my wife. Still, no, but I would have easily just taken that scholarship
Yeah.
and played tennis throughout my college days. Because why not?
Yeah.
You could have a sport. I could play. I could do intramural and everything else,
Mm-hmm.
and
Right.
actually play collegiate tennis and probably get killed by everybody.
Actually, what sport I would have done that Calvary ended up having when I left was track.
really?
I would have done track.
Really?
Yeah. A couple years after I left, they started doing track and they started doing the public school. Well, Caleb, Beth's cousin, he
Yeah,
was
yeah.
winning competitions against the public schools,
Well, that's cool.
which is pretty impressive. But
And-
yeah, when I did, so the one time I did track was middle school, and it was the city in Cumberland. They had like a, I don't know if you, I mean, you might remember this, but you were like 6 or 7. I was like in middle school, so it was anybody can show up. So it was like all the public school kids showed up, plus me and a couple of people from private school,
Mm-hmm.
and I did the 100-meter dash.
Yeah.
Yeah, the 100-meter dash because I wanted to sprint,
Mm-hmm.
and it was like cold and rainy, and I kept my windbreaker on, which was stupid. Like you don't do that; that shaves off.
Yeah.
Even if it's split seconds, you don't want to
Yeah.
do that. Well, I kept it on, and there was 35 people in my group, and I got 4th.
wow.
And looking back, I was like, that was actually really good. I didn't realize it. 'Cause I didn't, whatever. It was like 12. I didn't care.
yeah.
Yeah.
Until years later, I went, I got 4th out of 35 people.
That's
and like
pretty good.
the kid that was next to me, he was like 4 steps ahead of me,
Mm-hmm.
which is that's really far in that
Yeah.
sprint. He was a track runner at the local school, and he was like
okay.
one of the best. So I'm
Yeah.
like, okay. So I got 4th. He got 1st or 2nd. There was only like 2 guys that beat me.
Yeah.
I was like, man, I wish I could have done that.
Yeah.
If you
know,
would've
like you said,
taken-
you can't dwell on it because then you're like,
no, you can't.
If you would have taken the windbreaker off.
yeah,
You
well, I mean,
would've won.
I could have went 4th to 3rd, maybe. I
Maybe.
mean, that guy that was 4
Yeah.
steps ahead, that wouldn't have,
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
him, but like,
That's interesting though. Track. I feel like for me, if I could have played one, I think I really wish I could have played football
Mm-hmm.
but I have no clue what position. Like I
Yeah.
just.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I don't either. Because I'm talking about like if I played at a small private school versus if I was playing the public schools.
Yeah.
I don't know. Quarterback, then wide receiver,
And
then running back.
nowadays,
Who
like-
knows?
And nowadays, it's people. High schoolers are such freak athletes. Now,
They are. It's
And
nuts.
how we've gotten with things, so it's like at
Yeah.
the same time, I probably would have got killed. I remember when Jacob, which we'll have Jacob on at some point,
Mm-hmm.
our brother-in-law, when he played, and he was telling me they played against this team that was really good, and he was a center. Jacob was a center.
He was a
So he
center,
snapped the ball. And I remember him telling me, like, yeah, we played against this team. They just had a lot of good players. And he's like, yeah, our quarterback had a rough day. I just
got
laughed
bodied.
because there's just a different, we all
The
know
level,
there's a
different level.
difference in athleticism and competition when you get out of our little Christian league and you go up.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're like, oh, these people are better.
I would have
But-
loved to play.
Nobody cares.
Okay. Never mind.
Next.
I'm curious.
I would have loved to play football. I think I would have
Yeah.
absolutely loved to play football. I'm tiny, but like it's like super skinny, but I would still try.
Oh, yeah.
And
Most
then-
high school players are.
Yeah,
It's
true.
not that big of a deal.
And then hockey, I would have tried to play
Yeah.
hockey or lacrosse.
I was good. You
Oh,
beat
I
me
didn't
to
think
it.
about
Lacrosse
it.
would be
I
sick,
lacrosse,
dude.
Actually, I think lacrosse would be fun.
Yeah. I just like
Yeah.
honestly all those other different sports and stuff, like even
Oh, yeah.
pickleball, I enjoy playing pickleball more than
Pickleball's
I do playing basketball.
I enjoy pickleball.
Like,
Yeah.
I wasn't
I-
made to, but that's what everybody did in high school. You played
Right.
basketball. And I mean,
No,
like
you
I was
did.
good at it and I enjoyed it, but like pickleball is so much more
It's like
fun.
how good were we? Though?
yeah.
Yeah, we were not good. I watched videos that my dad would take of me. I'm like, dude, I was such a trash player. It's
You
unbelievable.
think you're so good? It's hilarious.
Yes, you literally
It's like-
feel like you're in the NBA.
It's just-
You
yeah,
do.
yeah.
Oh yeah,
So
in our
bad.
league. No, dude, I
Those-
couldn't stand all the Christian school kids I met that literally thought they
Yeah,
arrived.
Oh yeah.
Like, dude, I averaged 27 points when I was in high school. I'm like, you played homeschool teams.
I know.
I
for
saw your schedule. Like, you're not impressing anybody.
Pretty sure
he
one
told
of
me
the
he's like-
schools said blind on it.
Oh,
It was School of the blind.
Well, I told you, Dan, that my friend Nick Howell.
Nick
Shout out to Nick because he'll listen to this for sure. Making fun of him, but whatever. He told me he could play for Wright State, like down in Dayton. They're like a division. They've been in the tournament. They've been in the big dance a couple
No, you
times.
can't.
Wright State has, and I just went. I don't know. He's like, yeah, you could have too. I'm like, no, I couldn't have. I'm like, how do you think that? Oh, I averaged 27 points a game. I'm like, yeah, versus your little Christian school.
Yeah, you
homeschool
play
team.
the same
What are you talking
like
about?
4 teams over and over again. Same like yeah, there's
Right.
4 teams in the league. Yeah,
I
you guys
learned
all play each
how
other.
bad I was when at Calvary, Maryland, and we started playing.
You put a
There
public
wasn't
school
enough Christian schools, so we
Yeah.
played Fort Hill High
Yeah.
School and Allegheny.
Mm.
Those were all the local public schools,
Yeah.
and they would beat us like 80-30. Like it was that bad. Like they were that good, and a
Yeah.
handful of them went and played college. Like
See?
Yeah.
not Duke, Maryland,
No,
but a handful of them went to the local community colleges and some other small ones.
Yeah.
So it was like they were
For
like it was ridiculous.
yeah, for me it was when we had. I think I told you we had guys coming out from Canada because we didn't recruit.
Yeah.
So we had guys come down from Canada, and one of them, like I said, I love his name was Munis.
Yeah, he's on
Munis. Shout out to you, my friend. But when he was schooling the college guys, because our high school's on a college campus, when he was just like toying with the college guys, I'm like,
Right.
this is a different level.
It is.
And I said now I've seen pictures of him playing for Canada's national team. And I'm like,
oh
Crazy.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's really cool.
He was a monster. Like I remember watching him and being like, how does he even do this? Like, and I'm like, okay, I'm not good.
No,
That's fine.
Yeah.
right.
it's crazy when you come to that realization
And then
that
the
you're
funny
not.
thing about
Yeah.
my
Not good.
area too, if you ask anybody in southeastern Kentucky about sports, and even played sports, first thing is all of them were good, according to them. All of them got a scholarship somewhere,
Mhm.
and no one took it. Everyone got a scholarship, but no one took the scholarship.
Yeah.
But
Where was-
again, I did as well.
Where
Yeah, I
was
was
the
gonna say.
scholarship? Where was the scholarship for you? To where?
It's Alice Lloyd,
What is it?
the Alice Lloyd University.
So
Ohio
Alice
State.
Lloyd?
Ohio
Yes.
State stole that from Alice Lloyd.
yes,
Yeah, Alice
Alice-
Lloyd. It's just their local
it's
college.
a tiny college in
Yeah.
LaVerne, Kentucky.
Yeah.
No,
No, Lieburn's where
what
we used to
city?
live.
It's
It's,
like
it's,
smaller-
in,
That's where we
it's
used
in
to live.
Pippa Passes.
Is it really?
Yep.
It's even worse.
That's
It's
the
like
name.
LaVerne.
They were NAIA, which is a step above NCCA.
Oh, yeah, that's what
Right.
Indiana. The college I went to was NAIA,
Yeah.
Indiana
I
University.
think NAIA is
Southeast.
below NCAA.
It is.
Yeah.
So like
It's division-
NCAA
So they're
Division
Division
1.
2.
Yeah.
NAIA is Division 2.
No, I think it's NCAA Division 1, 2, and 3, and then NAIA Division 1, 2. and 3.
That's
You know
right.
what I
They
mean?
each had their own
Because
divisions. Okay.
because NAIA was Alice Lloyd, I think, was NAIA Division 3, and U Pike is NAIA Division 1. They're actually a good school. When my coach went,
yeah, Pike. Yeah,
Yeah,
that I
Pike.
knew. Okay.
that so when I got a scholarship, they were NAIA, and then like a few years later, they dropped to NCCA.
Oh,
Dropped down. So like, I like being like, I did get a scholarship to at least NAIA. It
Nah.
wasn't NCCAA, National
yeah.
Christian one. But anyway,
That's funny.
but when they were when I was like first in high school, they were actually had a really good team and they would compete really well, and their games were really fun because they were still good players. I mean, really good players, and they went to Florida and they played a Division 1, a really small Division 1 NCAA team and beat them by like 1.
oh wow.
It had to be
That's
luck.
pretty good.
How many
but, like,
how many
they-
colleges are out there?
Oh,
There's so many.
You can't.
You
That's
don't
why
know.
when somebody says I played college ball, like I'm
You
not
have
trying to
to-
be dumb because I didn't. I'm not jealous, but I don't care.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just when you played ball at Southern Wyoming Tech University, I'm like,
yeah.
good for you, but come on.
It's
Yeah.
like
It's a glorified high school is what it is.
Yeah,
like
be real
none of you
with
guys
yourself.
made
You're
the
not
big
even-
schools.
you're
So
not
you
even
went to
that
this
good.
random. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I remember when Andrew Wiggins was in high school, they came down on a Wednesday. His high school team did because he was in Canada. They came down to Kentucky and played Alice Lloyd and
Oh,
beat him
really?
by like 40. Their high school team,
Crazy.
and he was a monster. He's
Oh, the
still
high school
the
beat
high-
the Alice
high
Lloyd
school
college team.
If you
Right.
go to an
Okay.
Andrew Wiggins, like one of his, I almost said mixtape. Is that still what it's called?
Yeah.
Oh,
it's a mixtape.
yeah,
Mixtape,
probably.
right? Okay. If you go to
Probably.
his mixtape, a lot of highlights are at that gym of him
Oh, really?
just schooling those guys.
That's
Yes.
hilarious.
And it didn't help that guy's an athletic monster. He's like 6'8", and he was already coming out into college. Everyone knew he was gonna be good,
Right,
but
right,
still, like
Still.
when you watch his highlights, you're like, is he even trying?
That's the same.
He looks like a man among boys.
That's the same as what's his face?
Zion.
Yeah, it's
When
same
he
as
played-
Zion. Yeah,
Yes.
because his high school league he was playing like Christian school.
Yeah,
teams.
it was.
And then he
Yeah.
went to Duke, and he's still.
Yeah,
But he was just a freak.
Yeah.
Still is.
Yeah.
He just gets hurt all the time. But
yeah, I don't know if
he's
we'll
still,
ever
like,
see him
what's
play
wrong with this
basketball
guy?
in the NBA. Like, how many total games has he played in the NBA? Like, what?
Like
For
3.
Zion.
Yeah.
3. I don't know.
I don't know.
Have you seen
he's a monster.
Have you seen his transformation a little bit? Like, he got really, really fat because he was
And
injured.
then he got in shape again.
Yeah, and then he's looking.
That's like every NBA player.
Yeah, he's
I
looking
feel
a-
like
he's
because
looking like a
James
baller
Harden
again.
did it too.
Yeah,
And then
Yeah.
like you know what's funny? Shaq like came into the league. If you guys remember him, like seeing highlights of him at Orlando, and he was pretty strong.
Mhm.
And then when he hit the Lakers, that's when he put on a lot of muscle and a little bit. He started getting fat, but he was like at the prime, right? That was
Yeah.
the prime Shaq. So he had enough fat and muscle to just kill everybody.
Mhm.
And then like. You know, he went everywhere, like the Cavs, Suns, Celtics. He ended with the Celtics. He ended up being just this giant fat guy.
Mhm.
And
Yes.
then, like, you know what I mean? He
Yeah,
did, and then he
he
was
did.
huge. And then he went. Now he's a sports commentator, or whatever. And then, like, somebody asked him, like, "What made you?" Because you've seen him now, because he got back in shape.
Yeah,
He's
he's
got,
thinner.
6-pack now, and he was like, "Well, the doctor told me the one thing I needed to hear, and that's you're gonna die if you don't get in shape." So he got in shape.
Insane.
But anyway, it's just funny because it's just funny how those guys are like, "Oh, I need to get in shape," so they just hire a chef and a personal trainer and all that, and just get in shape.
Yeah, if I had
Or-
all that, I'd be.
Well, I'm saying like, so here's
I'd
a
be
random
chilling.
question: if you were allowed to have any like any rich person amenities, that'd be the right word.
Yeah. I got what
Like,
you're saying.
okay, yeah, you could have it. Like
A
you could have a
perk.
personal chef or a personal trainer, but you only get one. But you don't have to pay for it. You just get it. Like it could be a chef, a trainer. You could have your own home gym. You could put a basketball court in your backyard. I don't care what it is. Like this one thing where you got to drop like thousands to get, but technically you can't do that. What would you do?
I want a koi pond. I'm just playing. No chance.
Just a koi
A
pond?
giant koi
Anybody get a
pond.
koi pond?
You just go with John. Like, you know what's crazy is he has an apartment.
I'm living in an apartment out back. I just have like a ginormous
Giant
koi
koi pond.
pond.
Because I feel like for me, I might actually, and this might sound really dumb because I'm fat, but I might go personal chef.
You definitely
Because-
would. I would.
But I'm not even saying that because of like, I just want food, but like, they can make really good, healthy food.
yeah,
I
like,
wouldn't have to worry about
I know that would be.
you
mine.
know what I mean?
I wouldn't have to think about that food to get food just taken care of and not worried about
That's
it.
what I'm saying. Imagine not having to think about
Because they
food.
would give you because if you get a personal chef, it's not just good food. They're gonna know your height, your body weight. They're gonna
Yeah.
know what exactly you need.
Yes.
Because you're gonna get like your blood levels taken, all that stuff. So they're gonna know exactly what you need.
That's
So
what's
that would
crazy
be
about
like ideal.
Because
Yeah.
I watched I saw a video of Dana White's house. He was showing like his house, which is insane.
Oh, I'm sure.
But like he was even talking about like the chefs that he has and how they just prepare all the food for him. And I'm like, how amazing would that be? Like you need this amount of, like you said, you basically have like all your macros and you're like, this is what I need, and the
Right.
chef just knows.
yeah, he just
Like
he just
that'd be
cooks it.
insane. And it's going to be it's going to be good. And
Yeah.
you're not spending 3 hours cooking, going to the store. Well, I guess maybe you have to go to the store. I don't know how that would work, but still, like that would be insane.
the one I think of that would be cool, a personal mechanic.
No, that'd
That's
be
a
nice.
cheat code.
That like think about it.
Yeah,
Like if you just had somebody that would work on your cars for free whenever.
I do. I'm just kidding. I don't.
I mean, you do have your uncle.
No, I don't even. That man is
Try
working.
not to bug him that much.
Yeah, I try to leave him alone.
He was just telling me today that he he didn't like name a person, but he's like, yeah, someone was trying to ask him something at church. He's like, what I would do is I'd go to the bathroom and I'd leave the other side of the church, go to the other exit, so they couldn't
don't
talk
blame
to
him.
me.
Just
so
like-
many people bug
Dude.
him, like
Oh,
it's
I bet.
obnoxious.
You don't realize
It's
like
obnoxious.
Yeah.
like 10 years ago, or maybe 5 years, just 5 years ago. Like if you go to their house, when you would go to their house, it would be like 7 cars.
Yeah,
in his
their
driveway.
car plus
Plus
3
their
to 5,
cars,
1 or 2 would be in his garage.
And that man would get off work after working 10 hours at Vin Devers.
Yeah, he'd work.
And then
yeah,
would
like
work
8
on
to 6.
people's cars
Yeah.
for like another 6 hours. And then he told me before how some people like wouldn't even pay him. And then
Mm.
some
Did
people
he really?
didn't even, yeah, some people didn't even pay him for the parts. He had to keep bugging them and bugging them.
That's annoying.
And
That
I'm
would tick
like,
me off.
and I think that's why he's like, I'm not doing this anymore. I don't blame him at all.
Yeah, it's a curse,
But yeah.
dude. That's
No,
a
it
curse.
is. But it's like the funny thing is, dude, if I could have 10% of his knowledge, I just want to do an oil change myself. I don't care
No,
what
I
anything
don't. I'll
else,
pay
man.
someone.
I can figure stuff out. I just don't have the stuff to do it. Like I don't.
Yeah, I don't
know.
have the
Yeah,
tools.
that's the problem.
Don't have
Because
any
like,
of that.
if you ever if you had your own lift and everything, and you could just walk underneath your car and fix it, that's different.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, but the fact that you gotta like, I saw this video actually, and it was like how people. It was basically saying what people think working on cars is like, and it was like a cut scene of the Fast and Furious, like the intense music, and they're in there working on it, and then it was like the reality of it, and it's just this dude laying underneath of a car, and it's like, we're going to show you how to change out your suspension. He's just got a YouTube video,
Yeah.
with the camera like right in front of his eyes because he's underneath the car,
Right.
and I'm like, but that is the most true thing, because like you're like, I had to, one of the only things I did to my car, kind of, is I replaced the starter in my Impala. That was like 3 days. That should have been like a half an hour.
Right.
But I don't know what I'm doing.
Mhm.
And first of all, first time I put it in wrong. Almost destroyed probably exploded the battery. It didn't, luckily.
Mhm.
But it was in the worst spot. And then I had my wife's dad help, my father-in-law help me, and then my brother-in-law helped me. And then we finally got it. And I'm like, this is why people just pay people.
Nope.
Because it's like,
No, that's why
yeah,
I
you
do
saved $300.
it. I hate that
Well, let
stuff.
me rephrase that. You probably saved $150, but it took me 3 days.
That's why I don't do it. It's not worth it. If you're not just gonna take the time to learn it, just pay someone. In fairness though,
Yeah.
new cars are like impossible to fix, and they do
Oh
it on
my
purpose.
goodness,
Everything
yeah.
is made internally.
Mhm.
So like my 91 Subaru I used to have, everything was made
Yeah.
on the outside of the engine.
Yeah.
So like I remember one time I needed an EGR valve. I still don't know what that stands for. I don't remember. But I like Googled it, and it was like on top of the engine. So I went on Amazon, bought an EGR valve, and watched like a 3-minute video. I changed it in like 3 minutes.
Just slap that puppy on there.
Yeah, it was awesome. And then I felt so manly. I'm like, man, I'm such a mechanic over here fixing stuff.
Yeah, I
You
know.
just do this like 3-minute part change, you know?
Yep.
There's nothing-
But like that was easy. But now they don't make things like that. Everything is you open up the hood and it's like I see like the panel
Mhm.
and everything is underneath the
Yeah,
panel.
you have to get
Yeah.
Like
underneath
you have to
that.
because you have to get to everything.
Nothing
It's-
makes me more upset and more like in the flesh than when you have something wrong with your car.
Yeah, I know.
It kills me.
Yeah,
like
we
literally, I'm
talked
like,
about
okay,
that.
Lord, what are you trying to tell me? Like, what are you like? Like,
Yeah,
I'll get a
what
flat
is it?
tire and be like, Lord, God's been trying to get my attention. He had to give me a
I
flat
know.
tire. Like, it kills me. I hate it
I know.
so
I hate
much.
it too. I can't stand
We
it.
talked about that because it's like when you have car issues, it is one of the most frustrating things because that's like, well, it's your
Yeah.
transportation for work, everything. So, and
Yeah.
all of a sudden you just can't go anywhere.
Yeah, I know. It's annoying.
I think it's also annoying is because a car we would say is a necessity now.
Yeah.
It is.
To a certain point. For you,
It
is.
pretty much. Well, for me, it definitely is. 'cause
Yeah,
of my
but like
job,
for us, like don't get me wrong, I guess I could take the bus to work, but that would be horrible.
Yeah,
but, like,
no.
It's like, I mean,
I'd
you
rather
have
walk.
to have
Say-
a car.
Have you
Yeah.
heard the statistic though that like and this probably depends on where you live, but technically, if you were to use public transportation or even get like an Uber or a taxi here and there, that it ends up adding up to the same cost of owning a car for a year.
That kind of
Crazy.
makes
So
sense.
you could just it does, but like it makes sense too because if you're half the time you're probably using public transit, but then you're adding an hour or two of your day
Yep.
getting on a bus or on a
that's true.
subway if you
Waiting
live
on-
in New York
yeah.
City. But like there's a bunch of people in New York City just in podcasts I've listened to where they don't have their license because they just take public transit. They don't even
Yeah.
need it, but they're like, I saved like thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
I didn't pay for a license,
Yeah.
first of all, but then I
Yeah.
just don't have.
But that is
car.
ridiculous because like you get a car, you have to have a license, you have to pay for your license, and then you have to. All right, well,
we can't pause, dude. We can't. It's live. Hey, people are listening
we're
live.
live right now. Listen, well, you could go pee in the other room.
We do.
Yes, there's nothing better than torturing.
I think it's called like a covered wagon or something like that.
That's a name for it.
Yeah, people call it that.
I
Or
hope so.
a duck
because-
oven. No, it's different.
Because we took a pause, that might be why we all of a sudden went from cars to what is that called?
A covered wagon.
Don't look it up because now I'm.
I'm not gonna Google that. That's for
Oh,
sure.
man. But
Well, it's just gonna be images of a covered wagon.
covered weapon.
Yeah, sure it was.
Covered wagon.
Covered weapon.
You ever
Cover
accidentally
rooms.
Googled something and that you're
Yes.
like, oh, shouldn't have done that?
I
The
interviewed.
example I'm thinking of, I can't even give. Actually, it wasn't me. It was Dad. What he Googled
no.
because it was something I heard from the
There was-
military.
Oh no, that's even
I don't
worse.
know, I probably can't even say it because it's
I
really
heard
disturbing.
something-
But Dad's like, oh,
I
Mom's sitting right there. He's like, oh.
so I googled I'm gonna pause it. I've told the story of Dad. Dad thought LOL stood for lots of love.
Oh yeah,
And
I
sent
knew that.
to somebody once.
Oh,
but,
we
like,
did?
It was like somebody like, hey, my mom passed away.
Oh,
LOL.
something serious.
Yeah.
Oh,
Thought it
man.
stood for lots of love.
That sounds like something Dad would
Yeah.
do, though. That's perfect.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, but that's like I never forget. Like Dad accidentally texted. You remember Jimmy and Shay?
Yes.
He accidentally texted Jimmy like, and you know how Dad's got weird nicknames for Mom.
Yeah,
like
just
you know
random.
you call
Not
your wife
inappropriate, but
babe.
just
No,
weird.
they're never. But like you say
Yeah.
babe, honey. Well, Dad would be like, "What up, monkey love?" And you're like, "Why are you saying that?"
Yeah,
But-
or
and he-
sweet
he-
monkey, or
or
yeah,
sweet
it's something.
monkey,
You
yeah.
make up something
Dad,
like
my dad's got weird thing
yeah,
with
just
monkeys.
weird. It's so weird thing for monkey.
Hope Dad's listening to this too. Love you, Dad. But anyway, he texted that to Jimmy or something like,
Oh
"Hey,
yeah.
sweet monkey love" or something. And Jimmy's like, "Hey, Pastor, you know I do love you," but something to that effect. I can't remember what it was.
Well,
but
he
it was
did that
really
to that lady
funny.
at school at Calvary.
Yes.
When he called in, thought it was Mom, and that who was that? I can't remember her name. Somebody answered the phone. He's like, "Hey, baby love, how's it going, sweet cakes?" She goes, "Yeah, this is Mrs. So and So. How can I help you?"
That's amazing. I just hung up.
Yeah.
Called back and been like, "Is Terry there?" Oh man, I told you about how I would at work. I tell you right, I love him in
Yeah.
front of everybody just to make him mad.
Yeah, you've mentioned that. on
Does
the
he
podcast.
probably-
Oh, I haven't mentioned the podcast.
Does he get really
I'm pretty
mad
sure
at
you
that?
did.
Oh yeah, that I wouldn't do it if he didn't get mad.
That's so
That's
funny.
the
It's
whole point.
amazing,
Yeah, if
yeah.
you wouldn't care.
You really
wouldn't
know how
care.
to press Uriah's buttons. I feel
It's
like.
so easy. It's so easy though to press his button. He doesn't listen, so it doesn't matter. But either way, yeah. When Dad did that, I always tell the story. Actually, I wanted to ask you this. So anytime like, we were joking at work, we talk about our wives. I would always tell the story, and I always say that. I always say my dad told me this, but I didn't hear it from Dad. It just sounds better that I said I heard it from my dad.
Mhm.
But it was the whole when you're with your wife, if she it's a backhand is correction, front hand's abuse.
Oh yeah,
You ever heard that?
Yeah, I've heard that.
Okay,
yeah.
I can't remember who told me that, but I just say I heard it from my dad just because it sounds funny. Like my
Yeah.
dad always told me,
Yeah,
son,
yeah,
backhand's correction,
Yes.
front hand's abuse.
Yeah.
And people would always laugh, but I'm always like, who did I hear that from?
I don't know where I heard that too.
Was-
but
I
don't
might have
remember
heard it
who
from
was.
you.
You might have.
Like I just can't remember who,
Mhm.
but I just love because I mean it's terrible, but it's just funny.
It is. This is funny.
That is.
Because I always tell people that. Like anytime like somebody at work's like, oh yeah, I just had to do this. My wife was just annoying, and I'm like, anytime my wife gets annoying, it's just correction. Like,
Immediate correction.
yeah.
Oh my! Tell me your story. I want to hear your story.
We should get
Dustin.
into the stories. Do you have a story?
Which one?
Yeah.
Yes. Well, so this one was when I was at a gas station. This is
Have I heard the story?
I would assume.
Probably. Go
I'm
ahead.
sure. There's
I
no
know
way
not.
you haven't. There's no way you
No.
haven't. Because that was what was I doing? I don't even remember. This is like 6 or 7 years ago.
Going to the bathroom, right?
I think it's when I was a security guard. Yeah, I think I stopped at a bathroom in East Toledo, and you know the gas station isn't a good gas station when they have one of those big boards where they have a bunch of like pictures pinned saying like we're looking for this person because
Oh,
they stole
yeah.
stuff from there.
Yeah.
But they had like
And it's like the
20
whole
pictures.
wall. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what
they had
I'm
like
saying.
20 pictures.
It's like
of
the
them.
whole wall.
Yeah, so I go into this kind of sketchy bathroom, and it's not even it used to be a Valero. It's still there. It's a circle.
Was it an
now.
outside bathroom?
No, inside.
Oh,
Circle
okay.
K. It was decent size. It's actually nicer now because Circle
Yeah.
K bought them out. But I stopped there and I went to go to the bathroom, and the door was locked, and the guy didn't know how to fix it or something like that. They didn't know what happened to it, so he goes, "Hey, just use the girls' restroom. Here's
Yeah.
the key or something like that." I just said okay. So I went and used the girls' restroom, and I don't know if that was or he came and unlocked it for me. I don't remember what happened there, but I just went to the bathroom and I had to go, so I'm sitting down,
Yeah.
and it's one of those automatic lights.
Yeah.
So after like it wasn't long, it was like a couple minutes, the light would just turn off. So
Yeah.
it was dark.
So you got wave. Yeah.
So yeah, so I waved once or twice. Well, then I did it again, and I'm just like, whatever. I'm just let's just finish and get out of here. Well, I hear a knock at the door, and I'm pretty sure I loudly said, "Someone's in here." And I heard another knock, and I said, "Occupied" or something like that.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, the door flies open, and this girl opens up the door. It takes a step in because the light's off,
Yeah.
and then she all of a sudden, after she gets a step and a half in, she looks
You're
up, and we're looking at each other. We're like she's like 3 feet away from my face that I'm sitting on the toilet, and I just said I'm busy, and she's like, and she closed the door and ran out. So then I'm sitting there irritated.
Yeah.
But to make it worse, I can hear her.
Oh,
She's out there. She's going. She's going. excuse me, there's someone in there. I don't know what he's doing in there with the lights off. I don't know what's going on in my bathroom, but the lights in there are completely off. I don't know what he's doing. And I'm like, okay, now I have to get up.
It just started being weird.
Yeah, I should have. Looking back, I should have just like dove into it and acted like a total weirdo. But I'm like, now I have to like walk out in front of everybody, you know?
Yeah.
So I walk out, and there just so happens to be like 6 people in there, like in this
Oh,
gas
my
station.
word.
And every single one of them looked at me when I walked out.
Oh,
Every single one of them. They just went like this and just looked at me. And I said, I just said something about the lights. I said, yeah, the lights are automatic, and they just went off. And I just turned around and walked out. Nobody acknowledged it. Nobody did anything. I felt so stupid and weird.
Funny if you just would have took it and ran with it and been like, "Don't ever come in my house again." Do something
I should have
completely
just,
random.
I
This is
should
my
have,
dungeon.
no, I should have opened up the bathroom door and just sprinted out as fast as I could to my car. I just full-fledged sprint to the car.
Later that evening, they pin your face on the.
On the they come back and like, I should go back to that and look, see if there's some pictures, some guy.
They probably have you up
What if
there.
it's you, but you're on the bathroom door?
Yeah, somehow they got a picture of that.
Oh,
So
Bathroom
like,
bandit.
I feel like there are
Oh, that's
amazing things
embarrassing.
happen at gas station bathrooms.
Yeah.
So
I'm
when
sure.
we went to Kentucky, this one isn't as good, but it was just funny. We stopped at this gas station. It was actually right before we got to their house. So I knew the gas. It was like they're called Double Quick, which is like the sheets down there.
Oh,
Where there's
okay.
like a ton
Oh,
of food.
in Kentucky?
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
okay.
like sheets where it's like you even have you even order on like a tablet thing. It's really cool.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
But anyway, I go into the bathroom and you always knock on the door and usually, so when someone knocks on the door in the bathroom, what do you guys do? Do you just say?
I just say occupied.
I'll just
We're
go.
busy or
I'll just
something.
go. Yep.
I just go. I just like cough like
Really?
just so they know. And then
That's
there was one time that happened and I did it and they knocked again.
Yeah.
I legit was like. I was like, and then I think I ended up being like, somebody's in here. Like I was like,
Yeah.
what are you doing? Like, anyway, that's the the story. I just was wondering because I talked about that with other guys, and they're like, oh yeah, I do that too. I'll just go, like, I'm like, okay,
I'll just be like,
it's
hey,
just random, yeah.
that's me.
You just say random stuff.
He's just like, come on in.
There's
Join me.
room for two.
Oh my.
Anyway, but like I go in and the guy's like, oh, hold on. I'm like, okay. So I'm waiting and all of a sudden he opens the door and he just goes, I just want you to know you need to be careful in there. And I'm just like, okay. And part of it is like, maybe he just stunk it up.
Right, yeah.
You know, he's
That's
like,
what I
and
would
then he
thought.
said like, yeah, it's nasty. And then I'm like, okay, he must have stunk it up. And I go in and no, like that toilet, like somebody just destroyed it. Like,
Oh.
like on it.
That's,
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
understand.
And
that.
I'm
It's so
sitting there and I'm
annoying.
like, how do you do that?
I don't know why
and
people do
leave?
that.
Like, how
That's
do
why-
you?
I saw this thing. Where somebody was like started like it was like a Reddit thread or something like that, and they were like, it was a page of like people that on purpose destroy public restrooms. Like they'll go in and they'll just like go to the bathroom everywhere
I don't get why.
just because they can and get away with it. Like it's
That's so
crazy.
annoying.
I remember
See,
once,
and that affects people like me because I travel a lot.
It was like a
and
I
they'll like
it was
close
like a-
bathrooms because of that.
yeah,
They do. There's so
Yeah.
many places that just we don't do public restroom. And I've asked people before. They're like, yeah, because people just destroy them. They'll just come in
Yeah.
here and destroy them.
It's
And
like
then, yeah,
it
you
was
go to
it was a thread called like "Am I a bad person because" or something like that.
Yeah.
And that was one of them. Like I
Yes,
just like
yes, you are.
Yeah.
I just destroy. I
Yes.
like pee all over everything. Like just like there's a
This
toilet
makes
in there.
sense.
I
Yeah.
just pee on the wall. Like what?
I know. I don't get how you do that, and then you just leave, and in your head you're like, nailed it.
Yeah.
What's the satisfaction you're getting?
No
Yeah, I
idea.
don't get that either. It doesn't make any
Yeah.
sense.
It must be just getting away with it.
Because when you're
Luckily, we
the
don't have
person
any of
that-
those people at church, so I don't have to deal with that kind of thing.
Good
Yeah.
point.
That's a blessing.
we should
Good
start. We should start that trend.
Yeah,
I'll
me
know
and
it's
you, Dan. Me and you.
I'm gonna pin your guys' faces up in the bathroom.
Yes,
The bathroom bandits.
The
yes.
bathroom bandit.
I like it.
Oh, it's
That's
just
hilarious.
two brothers.
Yeah.
yeah. We're like,
Like a
Thumbs
mugshot
up.
type thing.
Yeah.
That'd be amazing.
Oh my word.
Oh, but
that's awesome.
public restrooms are. It's funny. You could also really judge a place by its bathroom.
Yeah.
You
Well,
can.
I travel a lot, so like that's a big deal for me because
I can see that.
I'm on the road so much that like
Yeah.
if I want to stop somewhere, it's going to be the first thing is going to be a service plaza
Yeah.
or
Oh, yeah.
all the truck stops are always nice. Pilot,
Yes, those
Flying
are
J, those are
nice.
amazing.
Yeah.
yeah. But no, if I find some rinky dink place, I try not to go there. But sometimes there's no other
Yeah, you
option.
don't have a choice.
Yeah.
Or if
You
you're a
drive a
guy
lot.
and you just got to pee, just side of the road.
I've done that a lot
Yeah.
because I'm in the middle of the country somewhere. Too.
Honestly, that's the most ideal. That's the most ideal place for me to go to the bathroom. It's just outside.
Oh, for every guy.
Outside in the woods.
Yeah.
For every guy. There's no aiming. It's just
It is.
Yeah.
How? Okay, I wonder how long humans have been using toilets. How long has it been?
I
Well,
have
you
no
can
clue.
read. So, well, I was just.
The question is,
How
How
long
long
just
have
read?
humans been using toilets?
I think you gotta like you gotta
It hasn't been
you have
that
to
long.
redo this question because are you talking like toilets where we actually have like a
Yeah,
septic
you mean
system?
plumbing. Yeah, you mean plumbing.
You mean plumbing,
like actual
right?
plumbing.
Yeah, because like if you're talking
That's
toilets,
not
everybody
long.
had an outhouse.
That
That was just a giant hole in the ground.
That's literally like 100 years. 'Cause I was
Yeah.
reading a book about one of the senators, and he grew up like in rural South Carolina. He was talking about that, like him and his parents like didn't have
Septic,
like like the
plumbing.
sewage was like in this
Yeah,
ditch in the front of the house
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So like
But
that's not that
that's
long.
how it was. So like
Right.
in Kentucky, the house. So you remember what the church is? That the church, their church. Across from it is their house,
or
right?
Katie's church, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
So
yes,
on
yeah.
the other, like across from the parking lots, their house. If you go to the other side, there's a house there.
Okay,
covered
yeah,
in trees.
I
I
can
don't know if you
picture it.
remember- okay.
I can see
Well,
it.
like the way that house was, like they just went to the bathroom and it just went down straight to the creek.
Oh,
Back-
really?
A while ago, yeah, because that's how it was. I mean,
Yeah, yeah,
didn't
amazing.
yeah.
it
and then
is.
First time they
And then
moved
they
down
bathe
there.
in that creek.
First time the first time they
Before
moved
or
down
after?
there, Kate and her sisters are playing in the creek, and her dad, when they found out, her dad's like, "Get out of the creek!"
That's fantastic.
It sounded like the movie, like from like an Anaconda or Jaws. Get out of the water!
Yeah.
Giant turd floating. Okay,
They say 5,000 years ago, more than 5,000 years ago.
so
Oh,
again,
well-
I'm assuming that's like.
But yeah,
out-
that's like yeah.
it has to be.
Well, if you want to talk about like making the side of the road a ditch and cutting all that out and making it flow somewhere, well, yeah, that probably goes back thousands of years. I'm
Yeah.
thinking like pipes, PVC, cast iron pipe. That's what
Well, I
I'm thinking
assume
of.
that had to be one of those that started with rich people thing that could afford it, and then
Yeah, it
went
did
into,
until it
like,
became commonplace.
One of the oldest restrooms I was in, they had a urinal trough.
yeah,
Like literally,
Oh,
it
they,
was.
they have those at like
they do have those randomly.
colleges.
Was it just on a wall,
stadiums?
something like that?
Yeah, it was at like a game when they had that.
yeah,
I don't
but
know
they're,
where I
they're
was.
more they're
Was
more
it-
private. But it was
Yeah.
literally like
Was it like in the middle, like a circle,
no. So basically, imagine
or was it just one wall?
That's on the wall.
it was like a not a circle, but a oval. So it's just like a stretched out oval
I've seen
on
them.
the wall, and like there's no privacy.
I've seen
oh,
those.
that's weird. Yeah,
I actually have seen those. I've never used one. I'm thinking you're meaning like, have you ever seen it's like it's a sink in the middle, but it's a circle.
Yeah.
I thought you were thinking that, but it's
Not
like,
that, not that.
and I'm like,
Oh,
you have
bro, that
to
would
face
be-
other people.
yeah.
That's why I was like,
You have
who
to
would
make eye
do that?
contact. You're not allowed to be.
Exactly. That's
Not
why I'm
that.
like, that's weird. But I have seen them like, my favorite urinals are the ones that just go to the floor.
Yeah.
Those are great.
Yeah, I know. they are.
But I've seen those like to the floor, but they're the whole wall basically.
Yeah.
I've seen that before.
Yeah.
Have
Anyway,
you guys ever?
toilets, nice.
We just
you
talked
got-
about urinals and toilets for like 5 minutes.
I know.
So,
I'm actually gonna continue this conversation. Again. Have you guys ever seen the video where they ask some lady, they're like, you need to see if you know this logic, and it's guys at a urinal
Yep.
from the
Yeah.
back. You know what I'm talking about? And
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like if there's 6 urinals, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6.
Mm.
If a guy is at urinal 1, which urinal do you go to? You go all the way to 6.
yeah, everybody's gonna say I'd probably go to 6.
let me do this. Okay.
This is why we have
Why are you gonna write
This is why we have the
I
whiteboard.
wasn't
Going to the
gonna-
whiteboard.
I wasn't gonna dive this much into this. That was all I
Where
was
is the
going with.
marker
I
every
hit it
time?
because of this.
I nearly talk about toilets. Johnny doesn't go to the whiteboard.
But it was stuff like that. So then they would be like, okay, if there's a guy at 1 and 6, you go to 3. You're always one away if you
Yeah.
can be.
Right.
You know what I mean? It was just interesting.
All
And
right,
then
let me
if there
let me
was
draw
somebody at 1 and 5 and 3, you would go to like 6 because you don't have somebody to your left. It's just always like you always.
We used to call
avoid-
that bro code.
Yeah.
At
it is.
Calvary, that's what
Yeah.
they called that. They're like, yeah, you don't really you're breaking the bro code. What are you doing?
Yeah. Yeah.
Sitting next to someone,
exactly.
you freak. You gotta go down a couple spots, you weirdo.
What, you trying to help me? Get over there. I know what you mean. Like that's how
I
it
know.
would be, though.
All right, so we got the slots, right?
John, you know this is not a video podcast. Nobody
I know,
sees
but
this.
it's so funny. I'm drawing a
It will
diagram.
be. It will be one day.
That's the goal. We want to
True.
do one video and try it.
5.
One reason I love
Okay, so all open. Which one are you going to?
if they're all open.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Now if they are all open, I don't just go to the middle. That's obnoxious.
Oh no, I go to 1 or 6.
I'll go to the sides. Yeah, I'll go to like the end.
Okay,
So I'd
so-
probably try 1 or 6.
Okay,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Now if it's a truck stop, we're talking about 15. Doesn't really matter.
It doesn't matter at all.
But you're only using 6 here.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's say there's a guy here. Which one?
At
I
4,
go to 1.
yeah, I would be at 1 or 2.
Still one. Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
so let's say there's guys here, and here.
Okay, I'm going to share number 5. I'm going to 1 or 6. Whichever's
Okay,
closest.
so 2, 4, and 5 are. So you're going 6. Okay.
I go 1 or 6, whichever's closest.
This would depend on where the entrance of the bathroom is.
That's
and
how
how
much.
much.
Whichever's closest.
Oh yeah, whatever close. Yeah, I think I'm in a hurry.
And also, how big are the guys at 1 and 5? Like if they're wide,
Where are you going? If all of them are open except for number 3 in the middle.
I'm using 3 then. I'm going
Yeah,
middle.
you just
I'm
have
on
to,
2, baby.
I'm
this
leaving.
also, this
I'm not
could,
going to the
You're leaving. John's like I'm holding it in.
Well, I was gonna say like it also could depend on how bad I have to go.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, honestly, but here's the thing: what if there's a stall open? Or do you just go to the stall?
I've done that before.
I don't know. I feel weird if you go into the stall and everyone knows that you're not using a stall for that you're like the way you're supposed.
Oh right, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially
The way you're supposed to.
yeah.
Sorry.
We should start yelling at people for
if
that.
I'm in the bathroom and some guy if there's an open urinal but he goes into the stall and pees, I'm like,
You're like, what are you doing?
why are you
Weird.
what are you nervous?
We
Like,
should start calling people out for that. Like just
we should.
I-
you're standing there peeing, and some guy goes into the stall, and you hear just him standing and be like, "Hey, sir, what are you doing? That's not what that's for. Get out here and pee like a man."
Well, you need to sit. I know. I love like if I go in the bathroom and they're all taken. Like I did this in high school. I used to do this in high school. And there was only like 1 or 2, right, in the bathroom at high school. But like I would like, and especially because you knew everybody. So like if somebody be peeing, I would just go get in line, just stand right behind them, like right behind them. Like
I've
you
done
can
that
feel
before.
me breathing on your neck.
Yeah.
Just, what are you doing? Like, I'm just waiting till you're done. It's as weird as could be. But oh man,
we were so bored with our lives in school. We did this thing where you would own you had one urinal that you would use for your entire life, and that was yours.
what?
And so if you go in and somebody's using yours, you'd get mad at them and be like, "Hey, get out! This is my urinal. You don't use a different one." So when you go with your go with your group of guys, you guys are allowed to go. Everybody has their designated one, so no one has to wait.
Designated
Oh.
urinal.
It was so stupid.
That's good
but-
stuff right there.
Hey everybody, it's Dan. This is part 1 of our 2-part series with my brother. I hope you enjoyed it, and the next part will be released next week. Have a great week.